So we're going to look at the quality of thinking within the team and the quality of action. In a really simple way, I think teams have two ways of really adding value. One is that you come together to move thinking forward, so the bouncing of different diverse ideas off to develop a better quality of thinking. The other is to coordinate and take action together. So if we're looking at the quality of thinking, this largely comes down to the quality of meetings. And what I love about this is for a lot of teams, this is a really quick win. A lot of very, very high capable teams just do not use their time together effectively. It's actually quite straightforward to do. If you're a team leader, if you do nothing else from this call, I would encourage you to go and seek some feedback on the quality of meetings and kind of brace yourself for getting some negative feedback, because most teams don't do this well. So if we look at what are the building blocks of that, so right agenda, again, so often I've seen an incredibly capable team, I think of boards, etc., that I've worked with, that are just wasting the talent in the room because they've got the wrong things on the agenda. And you can have the most talented people in the world, but if you're talking about, I had one sporting team that spent 23 minutes talking about what do we do with an old trophy, and spent no time talking about the future of the sport. So to what extent are we talking about the most important things? I think one really interesting distinction in this is how much time does this team spend focusing adding value for today versus adding value for tomorrow? So I think that's the key challenge of pretty much any leadership team, is to get that balance right between those two things. Not easy, but I think to think about what that right balance is really effective. I've seen some good teams actually almost be specific about your role is 70% future, 30% current. Your role is 90% present. Giving real clarity around that. I'll put the next two up together. So, what's the quality of conversation within the team? So open dialogue, very simple phrase. There's a lot underneath this. So when you see really good open dialogue, it's people saying absolutely what they think and not holding back. So it's sort of psychological safety in action. But, and this is a really key but, is once they've shared their view, they then switch into super curiosity. That's what open dialogue looks like, and almost inviting people to disagree with their thinking. So it's starting to look at conflict as a positive thing within the team. Intellectual conflict, not personal conflict. So you want to dial up intellectual conflict. And then equal contribution. So some of us, you would have heard us quote this before, comes from some research Matthew Syed did. But if you have a team of 8 people, we know that 70% of the contribution will come from how many people? And this probably won't surprise you, 2 to 3 people. So, one of the things that teams just waste talent with is that they allow personality and status to determine who speaks as opposed to the expertise in the room. And then the final one, so the open dialogue, we often talk about this very powerful, very simple model of diamond thinking. Open dialogue is about opening the diamond up, about getting as many ideas out on the table as possible. I see teams be very good at that, but not good at closing the diamond. And I see other teams not good at opening it up. You tend to be good at one or the other. You need to be really good at closing the diamond down. And for me, this is the team's ability to move to a clear decision, to close the conversation, not having circular conversations. Lovely phrase from Intel, which is disagree and commit. This idea that we have debate and discussion, everyone is heard, but then we get behind and we commit to the decision that we make as a team.